Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Best English Podcast. I'm your host, Olivia, and I am absolutely buzzing with excitement for today's episode. I'm so glad you're here with us.
And I'm James, your co-host. It's fantastic to be with you all. Thank you for tuning in, wherever you are in the world. If you've ever felt that frustrating feeling, the one where the words are in your head, but they just won't come out of your mouth, well, you are in exactly the right place.
Oh, that feeling is the worst, isn't it? It's like a traffic jam in your brain. But today, we are going to give you the key to clear that traffic. The topic we're diving into is incredibly powerful, and it might even surprise you. It's called Listen More, Speak Better. Improve your English fluency every day.
Exactly. Now, that might sound a little backwards, right? A lot of learners, probably many of you listening right now, think to speak better, I must speak more. I need to practice speaking all the time. And while speaking is important, of course it is, we're here to let you in on a little secret.
It's the secret weapon of language learning, the real foundation. In reality, listening isn't just a part of learning, it is the engine of learning.
That's such a great way to put it, an engine, because the more you listen, the more fuel you put into your brain. You're absorbing the natural sound of English, the rhythm, the melody, the way words connect, that musicality of the language.
Yes, the musicality. I love that. And when you truly understand that music, that flow, you start to speak with more confidence, more accuracy, and most importantly, more naturally. You stop sounding like a textbook and start sounding like you.
Exactly. So, in today's deep dive episode, we're going to break it all down for you. We're going to explore why listening is the magic key to unlocking your speaking skills.
We'll also talk about the common mistakes and traps that so many learners fall into with their listening practice. We want to help you avoid those.
And then the practical stuff. We'll show you how to build smart, effective listening habits that fit into your life, even if you are incredibly busy. We're talking about turning your daily commute or your chores into powerful learning sessions.
And my favorite part, we'll be sharing some real-life, truly inspiring stories of students who transformed their speaking ability, not by spending hours in a classroom, but simply by changing how they listened.
Plus, we'll give you a whole toolbox of practical tips, tricks, and techniques you can start using the second this episode ends. Simple things you can do from the comfort of your home. So, if you are ready to supercharge your English journey and grow faster than you thought possible, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and stay with us. This is going to be a game changer.
Let's get started. Okay, James, let's jump right into the deep end. The big, fundamental question. Why on earth is listening so critical if my main goal is to speak better English? It feels like wanting to be a better runner by watching videos of running.
That's a perfect way to frame it. And it's what so many people think. But here's the fundamental truth, and it's so simple, we often miss it. We are biologically wired to learn language through our ears first. Think about the most successful language learners on the planet.
Who? Polyglots? Language experts?
Nope. Babies.
Ah, of course. The baby analogy. It's a classic for a reason.
It is. Think about it. A baby spends its first year, maybe even a year and a half, just listening. They are in a complete immersion environment. They hear their parents talking to them, talking to each other, singing lullabies, the sound of the TV in the background. They're just a little sponge, soaking up sounds, tones, and patterns.
And they're not studying grammar rules, are they? Their parents aren't sitting them down with a whiteboard saying, okay, today we're learning the present perfect tense.
Absolutely not. They don't start with rules. They start with sounds. They listen for thousands and thousands of hours. Their brains are building a massive, complex map of the language. They're figuring out what sounds belong together, what a question sounds like, what a happy tone sounds like, what a sad tone sounds like.
All of that happens before they even say mama or dada. It's incredible. And it's the same process for us learning a second language, isn't it? We just try to rush it.
We totally rush it. We want to skip that crucial absorption phase. When you listen to English consistently, you are doing the exact same thing a baby does. You are building what I like to call an internal English database, or a mental library right inside your brain.
Ooh, I love that. A mental library. So, what's in this library?
Everything. It's filled with the correct pronunciation of thousands of words. It's filled with common sentence structures, how native speakers actually form questions and statements. It's filled with collocations, those words that just naturally go together, like make a mistake, not do a mistake.
Right. You don't learn that from a list. You learn it by hearing it over and over and over again until make a mistake just sounds right and do a mistake sounds, well, weird.
Precisely. And the most important thing in that library is rhythm and intonation. The music of English. When does your voice go up? When does it go down? Which words in a sentence do you stress?
That is so huge. You can have perfect grammar and perfect vocabulary, but if your rhythm is off, you can be very difficult to understand and you won't sound natural. Listening is the only way to truly absorb that.
It's the only way. This mental library does something amazing. It helps you to stop translating in your head. So many learners think in their native language and then try to translate word for word into English. The result is often awkward.
Oh, I've been there. It's slow, it's exhausting, and the sentences come out all jumbled.
Exactly. But when you filled your mental library by listening a lot, you start to just pull complete, natural-sounding phrases off the shelf. You want to ask for coffee? You don't think about the grammar. Your brain just gives you, "Could I get a latte, please?" Because you've heard it 1,000 times in coffee shop scenes in movies or on podcasts.
It becomes automatic. It's like muscle memory for your brain. You're building a feeling for the language and intuition. It just feels right.
Yes, that intuition is the goal. And one more thing on this, Olivia. Listening doesn't just teach you the language. It teaches you the culture behind the language.
What do you mean by that?
Well, through listening to real conversations, you learn what's polite. You learn what's funny. You understand sarcasm. You pick up on fillers like, like, or I mean, which are essential for sounding natural but are never taught in textbooks. You learn how people really talk to each other.
That's such a powerful point. Language isn't just words, it's communication between people. Listening is your window into that world. It reduces the fear of speaking because you feel more prepared. You know what to expect in a conversation.
You've got it. So for everyone listening, please let this sink in. Listening is not a passive secondary skill. It is the active foundational process of building the English-speaking brain you want to have. It's the secret teacher that's with you all the time.
I love that. A secret teacher. Wow, that gives me a whole new perspective. Okay, so if it's that simple and powerful, then why do so many people listen for hours and hours and still feel like they're not improving their speaking?
Now that is the million-dollar question. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle next. The listening traps. The common mistakes that could be sabotaging your progress without you even realizing it. Stay with us. All right, Olivia. So we've established that listening is this incredible superpower for learning to speak. But as you said, many people are putting in the hours, they have their headphones on all day, and yet nothing. Their speaking is still stuck.
Exactly. It can be so demoralizing. You feel like you're doing the right thing, but you're not getting the results. So let's play detective. Let's uncover the common mistakes, the listening traps people fall into. I think the biggest one has to be what we call passive listening.
Oh, 100%. The passive listener. We all know this person. Maybe we are this person sometimes. You put on an English podcast while you're cleaning the kitchen, answering emails, scrolling through social media, and cooking dinner all at the same time.
Yes, the English is just there. It's background noise, like the hum of the refrigerator. And look, that kind of listening isn't totally useless. It can help you get used to the rhythm of the language. But if that's the only kind of listening you do, you're missing out on 90% of the benefits.
It's like having a gym membership, but only ever sitting in the cafe inside the gym. You're in the right building, but you're not lifting any weights. You're not actually working the muscles.
That is the perfect analogy. To build your listening muscles, you need active listening. That means giving it your focus. For at least some of your listening time, you need to sit down, remove distractions, and truly engage with what you're hearing. You're trying to understand. You're pausing, you're rewinding, you're thinking about what was just said.
It's the difference between hearing and listening. Most people just hear the English, very few truly listen. That's mistake number one. What's the next big trap, Liv?
Oh, this one is huge. I call it climbing Mount Everest on day one.
I think I know what you mean. This is the learner who's maybe at an intermediate level and they decide, okay, I'm going to improve my listening. I'm going to watch a complex medical drama or listen to a fast-paced political news report from the BBC.
Exactly. And what happens? Within 30 seconds, they are completely, totally lost. The vocabulary is too advanced, the speakers are too fast, the topic is too complex, and the feeling they are left with is not motivation, it's frustration.
It's worse than frustration. They start to think, I'm terrible at English. My listening skills are awful. I'll never get this. They blame themselves, but they're not the problem. The problem is they've chosen the wrong mountain to climb.
So true. The key here is a concept that the brilliant linguist Stephen Krashen called comprehensible input. That's a fancy term, but the idea is beautifully simple. You should listen to material that is just a little bit above your current level.
The I+1 rule, right? Your current level is I, and you need to find material that is I+1.
Precisely. You should be able to understand most of it, maybe 80 to 90%, but there are a few new words, a few new phrases that challenge you. That's the sweet spot for learning. You feel successful because you understand the main idea, but you're also growing because you're picking up new things.
It's like going to the gym again. You don't start by trying to lift 200 kilograms. You start with something that's challenging but manageable.
Love it. Okay, so we have avoiding passive listening and choosing the right level. What's trap number 3?
I see this all the time. I call it the one-and-done approach. A learner finds a great podcast episode. They listen to it once while walking their dog, and then they move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next. They never listen to the same thing twice.
Oh, this is such a missed opportunity. Repetition is pure magic in language learning. Your brain needs to hear things multiple times for the new connections to form and become permanent. Think about learning the lyrics to your favorite song. Did you learn them by hearing the song just once?
Of course not. You heard it on the radio 10 times. You added it to your playlist. You sang along in the car. After a while, you know every word by heart. The same principle applies to learning English phrases and grammar.
Yes. The first time you listen, you might catch the main idea, say 60%. The second time, you listen again, maybe a day later. Now you catch 80%, and you notice some new vocabulary. The third time, you focus on the pronunciation and the rhythm. By listening to one high-quality, 5-minute audio clip 3 or 4 times, you will learn far, far more than by listening to 4 different 5-minute clips just once.
It's about depth, not just width. Okay, on to the next mistake. This one is for the perfectionists out there.
Yes, the perfectionist's paralysis. This is the learner who listens with their finger hovering over the pause button. The moment they hear a word they don't know, bam, pause. They run to the dictionary, they look it up, they press play. 10 seconds later, bam, another unknown word. Pause.
And it takes them 30 minutes to get through a 3-minute audio clip. It's slow, it's painful, and it completely breaks the flow and enjoyment of listening.
It really does. The goal of listening is not to understand every single word. Let me repeat that for everyone. You do not need to understand every single word. Not even native speakers catch every single word in a fast conversation.
That's so true. We often miss words, but our brains are amazing at filling in the gaps using context. You need to train that skill. Focus on getting the main idea, the gist of what's being said. If there's a word you don't know, try to guess its meaning from the rest of the sentence. Make a quick note of it if you want, and look it up later after you finish listening.
Don't let one unknown word stop you from understanding the whole forest. It's just one tree. Relax, let the language flow over you, and trust your brain to do the work.
Excellent advice. I have one more mistake to add to our list, Olivia. The accent bubble.
Ooh, that's a good one. What do you mean?
This is when a learner only listens to one type of English accent. For example, they decide they only want to learn American English, so they only watch Hollywood movies and listen to podcasts from California. Or they only want British English, so they only listen to the BBC.
And that's a mistake, because the real world isn't like that, is it?
Not at all. English is a global language. In a real international business meeting or when you travel, you're going to hear English spoken with an Indian accent, an Australian accent, a Scottish accent, a Nigerian accent, a German accent. The list is endless.
If you've only ever trained your ear on one accent, you'll really struggle when you encounter a different one. You'll feel like you're listening to a completely different language.
Exactly. So you need to diversify your listening diet. Expose yourself to a variety of accents. It will make you a much more flexible, effective, and confident communicator in the real world.
Wow, that's a fantastic list of traps to avoid. So let's quickly recap. Don't just be a passive listener. Practice active, focused listening. Don't choose material that's way too difficult. Find your sweet spot. Don't just listen once and move on. Embrace the power of repetition. Don't panic about understanding every single word. Focus on the main idea. And don't get stuck in an accent bubble. Listen to English from all over the world.
Avoiding those 5 traps will completely change the results you get from your listening practice.
Absolutely. Okay, so now we know what not to do. Coming up next, we're going to get into the really exciting part, the smart, practical techniques you can start using today to turn your listening time into real speaking progress. Don't go anywhere.
All right, we are back on the Best English podcast. We've talked about why listening is the foundation, and we've uncovered the common mistakes that hold people back. Now, Olivia, let's get into the good stuff, the how-to. What are some powerful, smart techniques that our listeners can use to listen more effectively?
This is my favorite part because this is where the magic happens. These are the tools that will transform you from a passive hearer into an active learner. So, technique number 1 is what I call listening with a mission.
Listening with a mission. I like that. It sounds very official.
Okay, it just means don't press play without a goal. Before you listen, give yourself a small, specific task. It could be anything. For example, your mission could be, I'm going to listen to this 3-minute clip and try to identify the main opinion of the speaker.
Or it could be, I'm going to listen and write down 3 new vocabulary words that I hear.
Exactly. Or even, I'm going to listen and try to summarize the entire audio in one single sentence afterwards. Having a mission, no matter how small, forces your brain to switch into active mode. You're not just receiving sound, you are searching for information. It makes your listening focused and purposeful.
That's a brilliant, simple shift in mindset. Okay, what's technique number 2?
This one is probably the single most powerful technique for improving pronunciation and fluency. It's called shadowing.
Shadowing. We hear this word a lot, but I think many people are a bit confused about what it actually is and how to do it properly. Can you break it down for us?
I'd love to. Shadowing is simply speaking at the same time as a native speaker, trying to copy them exactly. You are their shadow. You copy their pronunciation, their rhythm, their intonation, their pauses, everything.
So you're not listening first and then repeating. You're trying to speak along with them.
That's the key difference. And listen, it feels incredibly weird and awkward at first. You will stumble, you will miss words, and you will sound a bit silly. That's okay. It's part of the process. It's an intense workout for your mouth and your brain.
So how would a beginner start?
Great question. Here's a simple 3-step method. First, pick a short audio clip, maybe 30 to 60 seconds long, with a transcript. Step 1. Just listen to the audio once or twice to get familiar with it. Step 2. Read the transcript out loud by yourself a few times. Step 3. Now play the audio and try to read the transcript along with the speaker, matching their speed and intonation as closely as you can.
And as you get more confident, you can try to do it without the transcript, just listening and shadowing.
Precisely. Shadowing trains your mouth muscles to produce English sounds correctly. It bridges the gap between what you hear and what you can say. It's honestly like a fluency hack. Doing just 5 minutes of shadowing a day can produce incredible results.
I completely agree. It's a game changer. Okay, technique number 3. This one relates to something we mentioned earlier. Make the transcript your best friend.
Yes, so many resources these days, podcasts, YouTube videos, audiobooks, come with a transcript. This is pure gold. But you have to use it smartly.
What's the smart way?
Don't just read it. Here's a great exercise. First, listen to the audio without the transcript. See how much you can understand on your own. Then listen to it a second time, but this time, read along with the transcript. This is where you have your aha moments. You'll catch all the words and phrases you missed the first time.
You see how words are spelled versus how they sound, which can be very different in English.
Absolutely. But don't stop there. Go through the transcript with a highlighter or a pen. Underline interesting phrases, new vocabulary, or sentences you'd like to use yourself. Write them down in a notebook. This act of physically writing them down helps to transfer them into your long-term memory.
So you're turning a listening exercise into a vocabulary, reading, and writing exercise all at once. That's super efficient.
It's all connected. Okay, on to our next technique, and this one is crucial for staying motivated. I call it follow the fun.
I think I can guess this one. It means don't listen to boring stuff.
You got it. Learning English should not feel like a punishment. If you are not interested in the topic you are listening to, your brain will switch off. You won't focus, and you won't retain the information. So, find content that you genuinely, truly enjoy.
This is so important. If you love video games, watch YouTubers who stream games in English. If you love cooking, watch English language cooking shows. If you're passionate about gardening or history or comedy or cars, there is a podcast or a YouTube channel in English for you, I promise.
When you're listening to something you love, it doesn't feel like studying. It's just fun, and your brain is so much more receptive to learning when you're in a positive, engaged state. You'll learn more, and you'll keep coming back for more because you want to.
That's how you build a sustainable habit. Okay, last technique. This is a simple practical tip for those moments when the speaker is just too fast. The slowdown button is not cheating.
Hallelujah. Yes. Almost every podcast app and YouTube has a playback speed setting. You can slow the audio down to 0.75x or even 0.5x. Some people feel like this is cheating, but it's not. It's a smart training tool.
I like to compare it to the training wheels on a bicycle. Use them when you're learning to get your balance and confidence. Slowing down the audio gives your brain a bit more time to process the words, to hear the individual sounds, and to understand the sentence structure without feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly. You can listen to a difficult piece of audio at 0.75x speed first. Once you feel comfortable with it, listen to it again at normal speed. It's a fantastic way to level up gradually. It builds your confidence and your comprehension at the same time.
Fantastic. So let's do a quick recap of these power techniques. Listen with a mission, give yourself a specific goal, practice shadowing, speak along with the audio to improve fluency, use transcripts smartly, read along, highlight, and take notes, follow the fun, choose topics that you genuinely enjoy. Use the slowdown button. It's a smart training tool, not cheating.
These are simple things, but they are incredibly effective. This is how you move from just hearing English to actively training your brain to speak it better.
Well said. And coming up next, we're going to share some truly inspiring stories of real learners who use these very techniques to achieve amazing results. You won't want to miss this.
Welcome back. You know, James, theory and techniques are wonderful, but what really gets me excited, what really proves that the stuff works, is hearing about real people, real English learners who applied these ideas and saw real life-changing progress.
Me too. Stories are what connect with us. They show us what's possible. So let's share a few. You go first. Tell us a story that has stuck with you.
Okay. I'm thinking of a student I worked with a while ago, a wonderful woman named Amina from Morocco. Amina was fantastic. Her written English was great, her grammar was solid, but when it came to speaking, she would just freeze. She worked in customer service and was terrified of having to answer phone calls in English.
Oh, that's a very common fear. The pressure of a live conversation can be intense.
Totally. So we talked, and instead of pushing her to speak more, I gave her a simple challenge. I said, Amina, for the next month, I just want you to listen. Find a podcast you like, something with two people having a relaxed conversation, and listen to it for 15 minutes every single day on your way to work. That's it. No other homework.
Just 15 minutes of listening a day. What happened?
For the first 2 weeks, she said she didn't notice much. She enjoyed the podcasts, but didn't feel any different. But then, in the third week, something started to shift. She told me she was starting to hear the podcast host's voices in her head. In a good way. She was starting to think in English sentences.
That's the magic moment, when the language starts to live inside you.
Exactly. And the big moment came about 2 months in. A call came through at work, and it was an English-speaking customer. Amina said that normally her heart would start pounding, and she'd try to pass the call to a colleague, but this time, she just answered it, and she had a conversation. It wasn't perfect, she said, but it was smooth. The words just came to her without her having to search for them. She was using phrases she'd heard on the podcast without even realizing it.
Wow, that must have felt incredible for her. What a breakthrough.
She was flying. It was the confidence boost she needed. That small, consistent habit of listening completely rewired her brain for speaking. It's a story I'll never forget. Your turn, James.
All right. I have a story about a young man from Brazil named Luis. Luis was passionate about two things, English and cooking. He decided to combine them. He found a British cooking show on YouTube, hosted by a very cheerful and energetic chef.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Probably. So, Luis's plan was to watch one 10-minute episode every day while he ate his lunch. He always watched with the English subtitles on. At first, he was just trying to follow the recipe. But after a few weeks, he started noticing the host's specific phrases.
Like what?
Things like, just a pinch of salt, a lovely drizzle of olive oil, or let that simmer away nicely. He started to hear the rhythm and the happy, enthusiastic intonation the chef used, so he started copying him. While he was cooking dinner for his family, he would be narrating what he was doing in English, trying to sound exactly like the chef.
That is brilliant. So he was improving his English and his cooking at the same time.
He was. And the best part was, he sent me a video one day. It was a short clip of him in his kitchen making a simple pasta dish, and he was talking to the camera in English. Olivia, I was blown away, not just by his vocabulary, but his delivery. He sounded so natural, so cheerful, and so confident.
He said that listening to and imitating that one chef every day had taught him more about natural English rhythm than any class he'd ever taken. It wasn't studying for him, it was playing.
That's the key, isn't it? When learning becomes play. That's a fantastic story. I have one more quick one about a teenager from India named Ravi. Ravi's struggle was pronunciation. He had a strong accent and really struggled with the flow and sounds of English, especially things like the th sound.
A very common challenge for many learners.
For sure. But Ravi was a massive fan of the singer Ed Sheeran. He loved his music. So he downloaded the lyrics to his favorite songs. His daily practice was to listen to one song, like thinking out loud, maybe 10 or 15 times while reading the lyrics. He would focus on how Ed Sheeran connected his words, how he pronounced certain vowels. Then he would try to sing along.
Music is such a powerful tool for pronunciation. The rhythm is built right in.
It's a total cheat code. Ravi recorded himself singing and compared it to the original. He did this every single day. Over a few months, his pronunciation transformed. He learned the rhythm, he mastered difficult sounds, and he started to speak with a much more natural flow, all because he was just having fun singing along to his favorite artist.
Amina, Luis, and Ravi, 3 different people from 3 different countries with 3 different goals. But they all used the same secret weapon: consistent, enjoyable, active listening.
Their stories prove it. It's not about being a genius or studying for 8 hours a day. It's about finding a smart, enjoyable method and sticking with it. If they can do it, absolutely anyone listening to us right now can do it too.
That is the absolute truth. All right, now that everyone is feeling inspired, let's give them a concrete plan. Coming up next, we're going to lay out a simple daily listening plan that you can start using tomorrow morning. Stay tuned.
Okay, we are in the home stretch of today's episode of the Best English Podcast. We've covered the why, the what not to do, the how to, and we've shared some amazing stories. Now, let's make this super practical. People are listening, they're feeling motivated, but they might be thinking, okay, that's great, but what exactly should I do tomorrow morning when I wake up?
Yes, let's give them a step-by-step, no excuses, daily listening plan. This isn't about finding an extra 2 hours in your day. This is about using the small pockets of time you already have. Let's call it the Daily Listening Starter Pack.
I love it, the starter pack. What's the first item in the pack?
The 5-minute morning boost. This is so simple. While you are making your morning coffee or tea or brushing your teeth, listen to something short in English. Just 5 minutes. It could be a short news summary podcast, a motivational clip on YouTube, or even just re-listening to a favorite segment from a podcast like this.
That's brilliant. It's not about deep learning at that point. It's about setting the tone for the day. You are warming up your brain and switching it into English mode right from the start.
Exactly. It's like a gentle stretch before workout. Okay, next up in the starter pack, the commute classroom.
Using that dead time.
Yes, that time when you are walking to the bus stop, sitting on the train, or driving your car. This is a golden opportunity for listening. This could be 10, 20, even 40 minutes of pure learning time. Put on that podcast you love, an audiobook, or some English songs.
And this is a great time for that more passive, extensive listening. You might not be able to take notes, but you're still absorbing the language, getting used to the sounds and the flow, which is hugely beneficial. You're turning wasted time into productive time.
Totally. Now for the third item, and this is the active workout part, the one-clip daily drill.
This sounds intense.
It's focused, not long. Sometime during your day, maybe during your lunch break, find one short audio or video clip. We're talking 30 to 90 seconds long. Your mission is to master this one clip.
What does mastering it involve?
You listen to it a few times. You look up any new words. You read the transcript, and then you practice shadowing it. You repeat it until you can say it smoothly and confidently. This one focused, intense drill on a tiny piece of content is more effective than passively listening to an hour of new stuff.
It's about quality over quantity. I love that. One clip a day,
totally manageable. What's the last item in our starter pack?
The final one is the English wind down. In the evening, when you're relaxing, instead of watching TV in your native language, try to watch one episode of a sitcom or a short documentary in English.
With English subtitles on, of course.
Of course, this is your reward. It's enjoyable, it's low pressure, but you're still learning. You're ending your day immersed in the language. It's a comfortable, easy way to rack up more listening hours. So let's review the daily listening starter pack. The 5-minute morning boost to start your day, the commute classroom to use your travel time, the one-clip daily drill for focused active practice, and the English wind down for relaxed evening learning.
If you can incorporate even 2 or 3 of these into your daily routine, your progress will skyrocket. It's not about finding more time, it's about being smarter with the time you have. Listening becomes a natural part of your life, not a chore you have to schedule.
And the more you listen, the more confident you feel when it's your turn to speak. It's a beautiful cycle.
It truly is. So, to all our listeners, we challenge you. Pick just one of these habits. Start with just one. Tomorrow, you don't have to do everything at once. Small, consistent actions lead to massive results.
Gentle motivational outro music begins to fade in. Well, Olivia, I feel like we've really unpacked this topic today. It's been a fantastic conversation. Before we wrap up, let's leave our listeners with a final thought.
Yes, let's bring it all together, friends. If there is one thing you take away from this episode, let it be this. Listening is not passive. It is the active, creative process of building the English language inside your mind. Speaking is just sharing what you have already built.
That's perfectly said. Every minute you spend truly listening to English is an investment in your future fluent self. You are loading your brain with the words, the sounds, and the confidence you will need when it's time to speak.
So be patient with yourself. Enjoy the process. Find things to listen to that make you laugh, that teach you something new, that make you feel inspired. Fall in love with the sound of English.
Don't just dream about speaking English fluently. Start today. Open your podcast app, find a video on YouTube, and just listen. That is the first, most powerful step you can take.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of the Best English Podcast. We appreciate every single one of you.
We can't wait to read your answers. Until next time, keep listening, stay motivated, and never, ever stop growing.
Bye for now.